I wonder. Hold on. Hold on. Ooh. Anyways, what's up, y'all? Anyway, so let's talk about the truth. Eh. Anyways, let's talk about the truth about full disclosures and secrets being revealed. I think I already made a video about this, if I remember well. But I'm gonna do it again because I saw an interesting video by the Y Files, and I'm like, oh, okay, look, there it is. And then I saw, what used to be my nickname being used again. I'm like, it's like they're trying to gain recognition, and that's exactly what's going on. The truth behind all these full disclosures. Okay, there's two truths. All right, there's like two aspects. Okay, and the truth about all these full disclosures and secrets coming out and being made public is that, long story short, these organizations are wanting to gain, they want to get recognized. Okay. And they don't want to be left out. That's the truth. And for those who don't, or those who need a little more explanation, let me explain. If you, any company or organization that has held on to secrets and has even built upon those secrets many a things, programs, systems, even technology, vehicles for their military and defense interests, their interests and aspects in defense, their applications in defense. I get it, that has a place. But I like to use this example. If you know eating sugary treats, even a little bit over time, can amount to, health issues, well, why are you going to do it? Unless, of course, you have an atonement to couple it, which would be, in this case, detoxing, fasting, drinking water, working out. You see what I'm saying? So, what these companies are doing is they're trying to gain recognition. They want to regain, they want to be recognized. The reason they're coming out with full disclosures, the reason they're coming out with um, revealing this and that, and being more open to the public, aka the commercial aspect of the public, or aka the commercial public aspect of these constructs that we call economies, commerce, is because while many of them were heavily focused on the commercial defensive side, their defense applications, fear, others were operating at a higher frequency, whether knowingly or unknowingly. For example, the whole Project Looking Glass. In Project Looking Glass, they saw certain people, not everybody. I bet not everybody. I can bet not everybody, but maybe the wise ones who are also in the position of guardianship, as we like to say. Maybe those people, they saw the doom and gloom, but they also saw the not doom and gloom, and then they're like, wait, why is there a doom and gloom, but then there's also a not doom and gloom? What's going on? Those people, like many of us, they're like, oh, the power is us, right? The power lies within us. What are we willing to do? What do we do with our energy? What do we do with this wisdom? What do we do with this knowledge? Do we stoop down? A lot of these people, they're concerned about synthetic beings, AI, robots. It's going back to the doom and gloom. It's lending one's own power to these aspects that essentially are built around disempowered views, perspectives, and maybe even some trauma. Okay? It could be a quick trauma like, oh my God, I can't believe I just, like if someone's looking through the looking glass and they see a doom and gloom and they're like, oh, we have to hunker down on the fence. We have to. I would say, if that was me, I would have said, we should We need to consider, having a defense application just in case, but we must always continue to put our best foot forward. And some people did, some people didn't. Some people, it's levels. Some people operated at full capacity of love and abundance and infinite creativity. Others were like here, others were here, others were here. And if you had all these bubbles, all right, let's say you have, this is the peak, all right, this is the peak of infinite sustainability, creativity, and then you have all these bubbles that they're all interconnected, right? Looking at the camera, looking at the video is a little difficult. Anyways, but they're all interconnected, right? And then you have these bubbles, and they all are interconnected to this peak. Just like in what was it? The Torah. You have the what is that thing called? The pillars. You have the side pillars, and you have the middle pillar. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Anyways, but just like in the Torah, you have the description of the three pillars, and you have the middle pillar. You have these extremes, but these extremes have a balance where you are allowed to experience highs and lows, but you have to remain balanced, because when you remain in the balance in the center, you find that there is space for these ups and downs to flow. They can fluctuate, but they flow, and they are moving towards a common goal, and or a common era, or a common existence. And what is that existence? An existence where people can experience these highs and lows. They experience the different perspectives, the interactions, the influences, but they don't get lost in either one. Neither too positive, neither too negative. You're in the middle, right? And being in the middle, those who probably look through the Project Looking Glass, those who probably like with this Project Ancient Arrow, whatever, there are those who are, I call them divine agents. They were involved in these things, but they didn't get lost in doom and gloom nor too positive. They found the balance. And frankly speaking, the balance is beautiful, because the balance, hold on, let's let this noise pass. I hate having to raise my voice. So, anyways, you have these divine cosmic agents, which many of us can relate to. All right, we feel this call as guardians, and when we hear these conspiracies, these secrets, these full disclosures, we're not taken by surprise at all. Some people are. Those are the extremes I told you about. Some people are too in the extreme of ignorance. Some people are too in the, they find out about this stuff, and then they're like, oh my God. Some people go into the doom and gloom scenario. Other people go into the power hungry scenario. You have these exaggerations, and ultimately these exaggerations are going to amount to fruitless. How do I say it? They're going to these exaggerations amount to a very fruitless endeavors. There we go, that's the word. They amount to fruitless endeavors, because once they come to the realization that, like, for right today, people have come to the realization that, oh shit, people know. Duh, what you thought? You thought people weren't gonna know? Did you really think people were not gonna know? Do you really think holding let me let this noise pass. Do you really think holding on to some secret, some cosmic intelligence or wisdom, was not going to be, do you think that would have not been, but let me let this pass. Anyways, it makes one question, did these people really think that this wisdom and knowledge and information somehow was not going to be bestowed onto others? Again, you have people who operate on fear, and that is such a waste, a tragic, sorry ass, loserly waste of our potential as cosmic divine beings, creations of creation. All right, reflections of creation itself, of love itself. Okay, love is what created. Okay, so that's all I gotta say. That's all these full disclosures are and these secrets. Just some people are coming to, they want some recognition. Others, they're just like, well, you know what? Fuck it. Might as well just share it anyways. Cause I told some people are like, well, I told y'all. I bet you in some of these organizations, you have that one or two or three people who were like, well, didn't we tell y'all? But y'all ain't listen to us. No, y'all thought we were just nuts. Huh? Y'all told us, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. No, we gotta hunker down on security and all this other shit. Dude, I'll end on this. When you have unity and people working together, coming together, you don't got to worry about security because you are the security. You feel me? Especially with these combat sports and these combat games and this mega project, which, like I've said before, email me to join the mega project because we got awesome stuff going on. And that's all, y'all. Namaste.